If you're dating after 40 and you keep attracting Mr. Unavailable on repeat, and what you really want is lasting love with Mr. Right, you're in the right place. This episode is for you if you want to know how to navigate the emotional roller coaster of dating in your 40s and keep moving forward. Let's get started. Welcome. I'm Truly Eleanor, intuitive dating coach, helping women over 40 find Mr. Right without wasting time on Uggs, unavailable guys. After 17 years coaching hundreds of women around the world and overcoming my own pattern in my 40s to meet the love of my life, I know this to be true. Love is closer than you think. If you want dating advice that actually works, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I have new videos every single week. All right, so let's dive into the topic of the emotional ups and downs. Let me know if this sounds familiar. You're high as a kite one day on positivity and being like, I know the one is so close. I can feel it. He's in the air. I might even meet him today. This is the day. Going from that to crashing down into the depths of despair and being like, I will literally never find love. It is too late for me. I'm just going to curl up on the couch and pull this blanket over my head and give up. If you've experienced that, or if you're experiencing that right now, please know that I have been there multiple times and I know what it feels like to have that feeling of, I don't know if I'm coming or going. I don't know if I feel positive about this dating thing. I don't really know if it's ever going to work out for me. In my low moments, I just wonder, is real love actually out there for me? Is this really going to happen for me in this lifetime? And it's heavy. It is very heavy. It's really, really hard on your nervous system. It's hard on your psyche, on your mental state. It's difficult to continue going to work like I was doing and working in a health food store and having to slap on a smile and being like, I'm great. I'm single. I'm in my 40s. Yay. I feel so great. I'm single. I'm still alone. When I was single for a number of years and having to maintain a normal emotional state, a lot of people start to get tired of listening to you say, I don't know if this is going to work out. I feel really bummed out. There's nobody on the online dating apps that I like. I just don't think this is going to work out. And unfortunately, a lot of times, these are the people who aren't single, by the way. They start to get tired of hearing you say things like that. And they might turn around and say, well, why aren't you doing this? And why don't you do that? And why don't you go to those singles events? And why aren't you dating more often? It's because of your attitude that this is not working out. So you might get some not so pleasant feedback, if you will, unsolicited feedback from those people who are not single and they've probably been with their partner for 30 years and they have no idea what it's like. What I found the hardest part was to stay positive or to appear like everything's okay when it's really not in front of your friends or family. I had a yellow leather love seat when I was in my single days, and I had a beautiful apartment that I loved, and I would curl up on my love seat. It was buttery soft and beautiful. I would curl up on that with my legs hanging over the edge of the love seat, and my cat Barney would be on my lap purring away. And I would sit there and listen for hours and hours and hours to those psychic shows, the internet radio, if you were around during that time. I think they were called internet radio shows. Anyway, I would listen to all these psychics and I would try to write in or I would try to call in and ask, am I going to find the one? I'd say, I saw this eagle feather the other day and I feel like it means this. And what does it mean? I feel like the one is so close and yet I haven't met him yet. What's going to happen in the future? It got to the point where every single show, because on the internet radio station, they would have show after show. And basically every single show, I would try to ask the same question to see if I would get an answer that was a little more palatable. I would just spend hours doing that. Every night after work, I would be doing it on the weekends if I had time. And it was just this spiraling emotional feeling of getting so excited from a message. So maybe someone would say, I can feel it. Your person is going to show up in the next 2 weeks, or I really feel it for you coming up very soon. And so then I would get excited, almost so excited, like adrenaline high. And I'd be floating on that adrenaline for days. And I'd just be going to work with this smirk on my face, like that when you have a secret, when you're like, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to meet my guy in the next month. And this psychic told me so. And I'm not getting down on psychics, obviously. I'm an intuitive, so I know how all these things work. What I'm talking about is the emotional roller coaster that I was going through. I was just not well. I wasn't okay. I was feeling really, really bummed out, but then trying to stay positive at the same time. And as you may or may not know, when you're trying to stay positive and your emotions are pulling you down into the middle earth pretty much, it's an exhausting experience. It is so difficult to navigate those ups and downs. And that's why I really wanted to talk to you today about this, because it is a real thing, especially if you're in your 40s. It seems to have a particular ick factor to it when you're dating in your 40s, or if you're newly single, or you're just like, oh my God, I've been single for X amount of years and now I'm creeping into my 40s. What is going to happen to me? I just don't know. So I put together a list of things. It's kind of like a mantra list or a checklist, if you will, to navigate the emotional ups and downs of finding love, and to look at your beliefs, your fears, your wounds, and really healing those fears. Heal the fear that all the good men are gone, or it's just not going to happen for me in this life, and I'll just have to settle into my yellow leather love seat with my cat. Spoiler alert, I want to tell you that you can absolutely find love after 40. I talked about it in the previous episode titled, Is It Possible to Find Love After 40? It is absolutely possible. But what needs to happen is you need to really dial into navigating and taking care of yourself and healing those emotional fears and things that come up so that you can stay open. First thing I'll say is you don't have to stay positive. Just throw that idea out the window. Positivity is not going to help you. Toxic positivity is a real problem, and I want you to be real. That is the fastest way to find love, is to be real, to be yourself, to be authentic, to be expressive, and to show up as yourself. That is going to be the most magnetic thing for you. Don't try to be positive. I want you to just be able to navigate through these waves and stay as harmonious and as steady as you possibly can while riding those waves. I think of it as a visual that you might like, that is, you're riding the cosmic surfboard. Okay, you're riding the cosmic surfboard of dating in your 40s, and you can stay on the surfboard. You can have tons of fun. You can be surfing the wave. I'm not a surfer, by the way. I don't know why this has always come up as an analogy for me, but it really fits. You're surfing the waves and you can enjoy it, but then once in a while you may fall off your surfboard and then you get back on it. So take that image with you and stay with it while I go through my little mantra list here. It's short and sweet. So if you want to take these in, if you want to write them down, you can pause the recording and go back, but just really feel into these. First one, be real with yourself and process ugly emotions. I've done many episodes where I talk about how to process those emotions through tapping, through journaling, through shadow work, meditation, doing all those type of things. I encourage you to go back and listen to those episodes, and you can even do a search through my podcast to find healing, emotional healing, tapping, all those things, and you'll find different episodes on that. So process those emotions. And I say ugly emotions in quotes because there is no ugly emotion. I want you to fully face and process and transform through those emotions that are real. They are yours. You're having them. There's nothing ugly about them. They can be painful, they can be unpleasant, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with having those kind of emotions. You just need to actually process them. That's the only thing that's really important. Number 2, Tomorrow is a new day, and each action is a success. So if the day involves you cuddling your cat and listening to psychic shows on the internet radio while you're on your yellow love seat is totally fine. That would be considered an action. That's you living your life. And if you're feeling bummed, if you're feeling low, and you process the emotions and you're feeling a little tender, then an action is laying on the couch with your cat. That is a totally legitimate thing. And remembering tomorrow is a new day. And also, there's nothing wrong with what you're doing right now in this moment if you're feeling low. Or on the other side of that, if you're having a great day, really embrace the fact that you're having a great day. Each day is a success. Each action is a success, being yourself. Number 3, connect with trusted friends and loved ones or online support groups. I found some amazing friendships when I was a nutritionist and the networking groups I used to go to, and it had nothing to do with dating, but it made me feel so connected. It made me feel so supported and validated, and that helped me so much to navigate through those ups and downs and the times where I really felt low about being single. Number 4, this is a wonderful thing that one of my mentors suggested to me, and it actually was a game changer. I was so surprised at how much it lifted my spirits. Write down 25 times you persevered and achieved something. Keep it close by and read it. This is what I call my 25 amazing accomplishments. And we're not talking about academic success or anything traditional, although you can obviously include those. Anything that you consider to be an amazing accomplishment. So for me, even though I grew up in an abusive home and I had a lot of challenges growing up, I still managed to finish university and to overcome living in a very violent neighborhood and having a lot of troubles in school in terms of the gangs and the violence around where I was growing up. I still managed to graduate from university. And so I consider that an amazing accomplishment. So go through and find 25 things, and they could be small, they could be big. Whatever it is, it's going to make you feel really, really good. It's going to lift your spirits and open your heart. It's a wonderful thing to do. Number 5, express yourself authentically to get your energy into the world. Leave the house every day. That's another thing one of my mentors told me is if you have a very small life in terms of you don't really go anywhere, you don't leave your neighborhood, you don't walk outside, you don't go to the store or do these things. In other words, you're like a cozy hermit. So some of my clients and my audience has described being in your cozy comfort zone or being a cozy hermit. If you start to do that, your life becomes very small in terms of your energetic reach and connecting with people and creating possibilities. You want to expand that and express yourself and put your energy out into the world. So that's a very important one. And then a cousin to that would be number 6 is do what makes your heart feel expansive. For me, it was being part of trade shows and planning conferences and doing events. When I did Reiki gatherings for my students, that made me feel really expansive and connected. And I loved that. Think about what makes your heart feel expansive. Number 7 is going back to allow bad days. Don't resist those feelings. Let them move through you. And on the flip side, number 8, allow good days. Allow yourself to be so happy despite the fact that you're single and you're really bummed out about it, despite the fact that you maybe aren't where you want to be with a relationship or you're feeling kind of ick about it. Allow yourself to have really, really good days. Number 9, tap through your fears and do the exercise then what? When I talk about tapping, I always talk about one tapping spot. So pick a tapping point, which could be the easiest one is your middle of your chin, and talk through a scenario that's really painful to you or frustrating or stressful to you and talk about your fears. So talk directly about what you feel like is going to happen. For example, tapping and saying, I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. You're talking and tapping at the same time. And then you ask yourself, well, then what? Well, I'm going to be single the rest of my life. Then I'm never going to be able to go on a weekend with my partner. And you're continuously tapping as you're talking. And then you say, and then what? Well, then I'm not going to be able to experience that close connection I want to feel with someone. Then what? And you keep going until it gets deeper and deeper into those layers of fears, the layers of emotional residue from past relationships, from old heartbreak wounds, and it starts to release it. Continue doing that until you have a release, which is either tears, yawning, or all of a sudden you feel tired and you feel like a big energetic weight has been lifted off your shoulders. Number 10 is connect into your heart every day. And I do this simply. You can put your hand on your heart. You can say, how am I feeling today? What am I feeling? You can journal those things out. You can just spend quiet time with your eyes closed and your hand on your heart and just being with your beautiful heart that has desires and wants and needs, and listen and allow your heart to speak to you. This is an incredibly loving thing to do for yourself. It's also very uh, introspective. It gives you a lot of clarity. You get messages that way. And it's actually life-changing to do this. Try going through these 10 things to navigate the emotional ups and downs. Obviously, you don't have to do all of them, or, if you pick one and you have a favorite and you do that for a week to help yourself get through a low time, or to expand a happy time. There's nothing wrong with wanting to feel better and better and better. So if you're having a great week, continue on and choose one of these 10 things that I listed as your mantra to actually expand into more and more joy, more and more happiness, more and more love, and continue to do that. These are some great tools that you can use right now if you're feeling bummed, if you're like me and you're on your love seat and you're listening to the shows and being like, when is this going to happen? This will help you through those ups and downs. You will be able to find true love after 40. It is absolutely 100% possible for you. There's nothing special about me. My clients have done it. It is possible. And I want you to take this time to navigate those ups and downs. And remember, love is closer than you think. And if you want to start with something, download my free dating guide, which is a great way to learn the top 5 dating apps and to receive a checklist for how to spot unavailable guys really fast. And it's a great resource to get started with in your love journey. I hope to see you next time. We're going to talk about how to get past the fear that it's too late to find love. I'll see you then, and have a wonderful week.